Hello and welcome to Clarke Farms. We're back with another episode of the Clarke Farms map by MRG Mapping, and we are trying to figure out what to do with our grass. So as you can see, it is about to rain. The sky is dark. The forecast predicts rain, and we're going to get quite a bit of rain. It's supposed to rain for the next 2 days. And so we were all set up down here, ready to start baling up our dried out grass, which we were hoping was going to turn into hay before the rain came. But it has not fully dried out yet. And so I'm not sure what we're going to do. We've got a rake here because we're going to rake these into, combine the windrows up a little bit to make things easier for us. But given that it's about to start raining, we really need to get on this job. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start raking while we talk. And I think we're going to call a buddy over to help us out. And we're going to just bale this grass up. And then I think what's going to make sense is probably to see if we can lease a bale wrapper and just turn some of this hay into silage. I think wrapping the bales is going to be our best bet. Silage is going to be something that we can feed the cows through the winter. It'll keep for a good while, and eventually we can use it to make TMR when we get to that point. And so I think that our best bet is really just to try and do silage at this point. So what my plan is I'm going to take the headland passes off because we technically mowed some outside of the field boundary. And so I figure if we can get everything back onto the field here with a quick pass on our own, we're going to have some help come and run the rake, and then we'll jump in the baler and follow along behind. I did go ahead and buy this rake off camera, so we are even further in debt than we've been. We'll take a look at that here in just a second. I'm going to try and make this corner real quick and get going down the long row here. It wasn't expensive. I want to say this is like $23,000, so not expensive. It was pretty expensive. But I figured we're going to be doing enough grass work, and so having a rake is going to be something that's useful to us for quite a while. And this was something that I could pull easily enough with this smaller tractor, meaning that we could get a worker to come help us out if needed and allow us to bale alongside to hopefully make this job run a little bit faster. And so we're going to test that theory out today. And this was also a style of a rake that I've seen pretty commonly. In fact, we had one very similar to this the few times that I actually did grass work when I was on the farm. So that was really my main deciding factor when I picked this rake up. Was it was something that I've used in the past, and so I thought it would be fun to have on the farm here. And it also has a very low horsepower requirement, and that was very important here. We've got kind of an odd shadow on the ground there that's distracting me. And so once we get back down to the corner here, we're going to see about setting off a worker to help us out. Yeah, what is this shadow? We're off. We're missing little bits here. Oh, we're all over the place. Oh, the end of the world. This is what happens when you get distracted. So with that, let us get turned here back onto the field, and then we're going to go ahead and attempt a course play course. It doesn't have field boundaries. All right, no field boundaries on this field. So what we're going to do instead is see if we can rely on a normal giant's worker. Ooh, this is a terrible, terrible idea because it's not lined up with the rows. Well, I guess we can just rake the field ourselves and then start baling. It will hopefully not take too terribly long here. It's already raining. It's coming too fast. All right, we're going to do it. We're going to let the generic giant's worker go to town on this field. Nope. Oh, he's going. He's doing it. All right, we're going to let the giant's worker go, and we're going to start baling here and see how far we can get. So I'm just curious here to check to make sure that we're not losing grass yet. It hasn't been that long, and so I'm not too worried about losing it with it being wet out here, but I thought since we were down here it was a good spot to stop real quick and check. I'm definitely not used to baling. Ooh, we lost a bale way down there in the ditch. I'll have to remember that's down there. Bets is I'll forget. But, yeah, I'm not used to baling, and with how loud this tractor is, I don't hear the beep when the baler gets full. And so I keep overshooting, and that's why I left the HUD on during the time lapse here, is just trying to pay attention to the little gauge in the bottom right-hand corner, but then if I'm watching that too close, I'm not paying attention to where I'm going, and it's just chaos. So, given that we're not losing grass yet with it raining and everything, I think I'm going to just keep going and try and get all of this baled up. We're definitely getting way more bales than I expected. So, the original plan was to just bale up all this grass and toss it in a silage wrapper and stack them up by the cows there. But quite honestly, I was expecting maybe 1 bale per pass, not 4 bales per pass. So we're going to have to rethink our strategy here, because I was going to just bring these bales up there one at a time and wrap them up near the cow shed, but with this many bales, I mean, I'm not even halfway through the field and I'm just driving around with a full baler again. I'm not running these up there 1 or 2 bales at a time, so we might need to get a bale trailer, I guess, to actually stack these up and get them up there. And our friend here has cost us $600 already, so helper wages are definitely something to consider. But the raking has definitely helped. The area I'm in right now, the worker wasn't able to rake it up, and we're still picking up bales pretty quick. But having to do less passes and less turning around is always a good thing for me. Just plowed right into that bale. And so we definitely prefer doing the baling on the windrows. So we're going to definitely, we have no regrets on buying that rake, I guess is what I'm trying to say in a very roundabout way. And I think that the $600 we just spent on having our buddy help us get that field raked up was money well spent. Trying to figure out where to pick up this windrow. I think we've got most of it going back the other way, so I'm just going to come up here and then turn back around, I think. Yeah, so this is a lot of bales, and I am definitely not very good with stacking bales, so that is going to be something we're going to have to figure out here, I think, for sure. Huh. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter that things are getting wet if I'm going to put them in silage wrap, so I'm not, like, I'm in a hurry to get this done just because I want to get things done before everything gets too wet. But I guess we're not in a drastic hurry to just rush and get this done at any costs. If I thought we were losing a lot of grass, I'd probably be skipping these little bits that are out here and harder to see and just hitting the main windroad sections. But given that it looks like we have a little bit of time, we might as well try and get all the bales on this field. I'm super excited to be getting to try out new jobs, though. I haven't done a lot of grass work in Farm Sim, at least not recently. And I've definitely never used this combination to do it. And again, I cannot seem to pay attention to that fill gauge and talk at the same time. Actually, I was having a hard time paying attention to it even when I wasn't talking. So let's be honest, I just can't seem to pay attention today. Oh my goodness. Getting back on this row again. There we go. So baling would take a lot less time if I could drive better. I'm used to using a square baler where things just fall off the back when they're done. You don't have to worry about stopping and unloading the bales. I apparently already picked up the other half of that row at some point. But it looks like I've got just a little bit here. So we'll grab this straggler roll on the way back. Of course, we're just going to have to dump a bale here before we get to the end, just to annoy me. And then the worker, he was having a hard time down here turning around. It's a good thing our corn is pretty small still. I think he was trying to turn around in the cornfield a few times there. Just trying to figure out what the heck he was doing. And we're also running low on fuel, so that's a thing. Definitely consuming more fuel than we have historically. So I think the increased fuel consumption mod is definitely working. We're gonna need to go fill up here before this job is done, I'm thinking. Let's take a quick look at the map. I am, probably halfway done with this field at this point. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, halfway seems about right. Now, we're not on our grass row again. There's definitely going to be some grass left laying around in this field. We're doing a sloppy job, that's for sure. It doesn't help that the next wave of grass kind of grew up right behind this one while we were waiting for it to dry. I was not expecting it to grow so fast, but I think this geo is set up to get multiple cuts of grass, which is probably good for us. It means we're going to get another chance at getting some hay bales here before the winter comes, which is really what we're kind of looking for. And having both hay and silage bales means we're going to be able to make some TMR at some point here and really get those cows going. The imaginary cows that we have yet to actually purchase. We're waiting for the price of cows to come back down. I'll bring up the price window here real quick once I get going on this row. Let's empty the baler first and then bring up the price window. So while that's emptying, if we look at the price of cows, you can see, I want to say we were looking at getting these limousine cows, I want to say, or the Ayrshire. So tomorrow in seasons, the second day of summer here, is generally the lowest point to buy cows. So we're going to be buying our cows tomorrow in game terms, and that will be exciting. I haven't decided how many head of cows I'm going to get just yet. I was thinking about at least 30. Seemed like a good start to me. We are going to run beef, I think, on this setup. And so I figure 30 head of cattle is a good starting point, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know how many the cow setup on this farm is actually designed to handle. We come into seasons, it doesn't really say what my maximum amount of animals is. So we'll just have to wait and find out tomorrow. We are getting to a point where we've got really significant loans out as well. So at some point here, I got to stop taking out loans, or we're going to get so buried we'll never get back out in the head of things. The interest payments are definitely hurting us. We're paying out thousands of dollars each day in seasons here. And so we've really got to get to that harvest at the end of the year, and hopefully our cornfield here does pretty good so that we can get some money over the winter to get us through until the soybean price comes up in the summer. I'd really hate to have to sell our soybeans at a reduced price just because we're having a hard time making ends meet. I'd really like to hold on to them until the following summer when we can sell those for a premium. But it's definitely going to depend on how we're doing on the farm when the time comes. We're running our loans at a pretty high level here. If I remember correctly, we're already over 300. We're at 330,000 in loans. And so 330,000 is a lot of loans. I think we can get up to at least 500K. But I would prefer to not have to take out too many more loans this year. I would prefer to kind of get to a point where we're paying them off before too long. I do think we're at a point where we've got most of the equipment that we need to get, and so that is exciting. We've got everything we need for grass equipment except a tedder if we ever let it get too wet. But since we don't actually need to always have hay, we're able to turn it into silage sometimes. I guess it's kind of one of those situations where if it's like this, where we were trying to get it to dry out, but it didn't, we'll just make silage instead. I do think we need to swap out our mower at some point, though. I was not a fan of what it took to mow the grass here. I'd rather have a machine that's a little bit faster. So we'll be taking a look at what we can do to maybe trade that in before it's time to cut the grass again. Alright, so that is going to be the end of our baling experience. Now we just need to get all these bales picked up and wrapped. Oh, we've got one loose in the cornfield. I might pick that up here real quick. So yeah, we're pretty much done with the baling. We're still raining like crazy though. And so I think what we're going to do, because this has taken a lot longer than I expected, is we're going to wrap up the episode here. And the next episode, we'll pick up exactly where we are now, except we're going to be rushing to pick up these bales before any of them deteriorate. And hopefully I get this tractor back up to the yard to fill up the fuel before it runs out of fuel. But I do want to just do two things before we call it a day. First is I want to jump out here and just check so we're not losing any capacity on these bales yet. And then, my goodness, I'm jumping all over the place. I want to jump up into this tractor here and go get that bale out of the cornfield real quick. And so one fun thing that I thought we would do is, since I'm not going to pick all these bales up today, I am going to, I guess, do a little bit of a contest for anybody who's watched to the end of the episode. How many bales did we collect? Based on the answer here. Why can I not disconnect this? Lower first. No. I hate when equipment does this. I have to unfold it to lower it. So I can't disconnect it while it's folded up. Manual attach is a little bit wonky from time to time. Anyhow, so my plan is to do a little bit of a contest here. And the person or persons who guess the correct amount of bales, and or the closest person, if nobody gets the correct answer, will get, I don't know, some kind of a, maybe not a prize since I don't have anything to give you, but definitely a shout out in our next video. And if you're a member of the Discord server, maybe I'll create a unique role for anybody who can guess the total number of bales in this field that we have baled today. So with that, that's going to be all for today. Kedurk out.